How's it going, ladies and bruises? I'm Bobby Sixkilla. Welcome back to Sound of Drop. We've got two more endings to get to. I'm determined to get to these last two endings. So this time we jumped in here at the point where we get to choose between saving Marty and saving Himeno. This time we're going to say save Marty, because last time we did Himeno. I don't know. We'll see what happens. If there's old stuff, I'll skip it, and I'll cut away. If there's new stuff, I'll read it. You know how we do. To save Marty. If I were to guess based on what was written in the diary, then Marty wandered into the closed-down area of Manten Aquarium. If that's the case, I have to bring her home. Even if I flee this Manten Aquarium to save Himeno, I can't just leave Marty behind. There's no way I can prioritize one over the other. Even so, I have to move forward. Time to go. As I say this, I reach for the door to the staff room. Okay. It's very quiet, isn't it? Is it just me, or is it very quiet? I do have a walkthrough open next to me, as usual, when I'm trying to wrap up the last endings and something. The quiet rain. Pitter-patter, pitter-pat. The drops make a small sound as they land on the girl's umbrella. The droplets of water bursting open mixes with the scent of the trees lining the street and the asphalt, making Himeno, who was taking deep breaths, aware of the smell of rain. She had thought it would be a good idea to come on a day there was no club, but today just happens to be a rainy day. Since it would have been a simple training and meeting, Himeno would have done and headed home within an hour. Turning down her clubmate's invitation, Himeno headed for Manten on her own. She has plans with Mayu again this weekend, so today is our only chance to come along. In order to distinguish herself, to take action as Mayu's best friend, Himeno finds a flower shop that she reads about in a magazine, and closing her umbrella, heads inside. There are several flowers reminiscent of the summer season. Cute, yellow sunflowers and hydrangeas adorned with the melancholic colour of rain. Even though Himeno enjoys visiting different shops, she has little experience with buying flowers. With such a sweet smell wafting through the small store, Himeno decides to come here again with Mayu. I have a question about these flowers. Having finished her shopping, Himeno once again walks through the rainy Manten. Her destination is none other than Manten East Building. As she had thoroughly checked the map yesterday, she's able to reach her destination without issue. Heading through the lobby, that is crowded. Whether it's raining or not, Himeno rides the elevator. Manten quickly shrinks away from Himeno's sight. Going through the entrance, Himeno buys a student ticket. The lady at the reception desk is the same one that was there yesterday, with her dark brown hair pulled down back in a bun. Her lips, tightly painted with pink lipstick, form a smile, and she asks, "You came yesterday as well, didn't you? You're alone today?" Seeing a junior high schooler alone is probably a rarity. Himeno is pleased that the lady remembers her face. "Yes, it was really fun, so I'm here again today." "Thank you so much. Well then, please enjoy your visit." "Of course." Returning the lady's smile, Himeno politely declines the year-long pass the lady has offered her. Visiting more than 3 times in 1 year earns a free visit, but it would be better to get the year-long pass when Mayu is with her. Himeno passes her ticket through the gate and once again enters Manten Aquarium. It's already evening. Most of the customers are adults, particularly couples. How nice. A boyfriend says, "I'm sorry," to his girlfriend after being over an hour late due to working overtime, although this has left her in a foul mood. As they walk around the aquarium, a smile slowly overtakes her whole face. Finally, they end their day at a restaurant with a view of the town, clinking their wine glasses. While aspiring to such an adult romance, Himeno sighs at the notion of having such prospects in the present. Of course, after staring into the tanks for a while, one loses awareness of the other customers. Manten Aquarium is one little universe that Himeno is familiar with. After taking a brief look around, Himeno leaves the aquarium. Though Himeno thinks that she'll head on after a meal at the cafe on the second floor, she ends up having reservations about going in alone and, distracted by her hunger, gets a smoothie made from dark green, leafy greens from the juice bar. Once again riding the elevator, she heads for Manten Aquarium. The night sky visible from the elevator reminds her of another starry sky. It's just nothing but the cosmos. Putting the name Manten to shame, Himeno sees the starry sky in various places. In the aquarium in the night sky, even in golden nail polish and in aromatherapy candles. But the real vastness of the starry sky is something Himeno still doesn't know. However, Himeno isn't worried about such a thing. Each day spent with her best friend sparkles, and Himeno knows how precious that is from the bottom of her heart. I forgot something. Manten Aquarium is now closing. All of the customers are heading to the elevator. Heading for the lady who was about to close the reception area shutter, Himeno calls out to her with a pained smile. It's the same lady with the dark brown hair. "I'll come right back, so may I please go get it?" "You forgot something?" After the lights are being turned out, shall I accompany you? No, that's alright. I'm coming here tomorrow as well. Ah, I see. Well then, we're closing up, so please hurry back. Himeno quickly passes through the ticket gate, exits the Fish of Tokyo Bay booth, and heads for the tunnel tank. Just as the lady said, the inside is much darker than it was in the middle of the day. I'm here. Himeno stands at the center of the tunnel tank and rests her hand on the tank glass. It isn't as if there's anyone else around, but Himeno looks up and speaks in a gentle voice. You probably can't hear me anymore, but I have something I think I should say. Mari-chan? In the blink of an eye, Himeno is brought to tears, her voice shaking. It's my fault Mayu had to face something so scary. I didn't know anything about her past. I hadn't even tried to. Even though I talked so much about ghosts and all, I could have never imagined. Himeno leans on the tank, looking down. If she doesn't, her body will give out completely. It seems as if the strength to hold her up her body is leaving in turn with her overflowing emotions. Oh shit. Since you were there, Mari-chan, you were able to come back. I was able to make it out, without losing something precious to me. As she says this, Himeno pulls a flower from a shopping bag. It's a blue rose. It's only one, but it holds my feelings. Leaving flowers here would, of course, be in the way of others. But she just at least wants to get her feelings across. So just one flower. Thank you very much, Mari-chan. Somehow, rest in peace. The words serve to accompany the flowers, then Himeno puts her hands together. It's probably only several seconds that pass in real time. However, time is not the problem. For Himeno, it is the depth of what fills that time, of her very precious sentiment. Okay, I'll probably get in trouble. Himeno wipes away the tears that have gathered at the corners of her eyes and jogs toward the exit. She never hears any sort of reply, therefore, this is probably nothing more than her satisfying herself. However, this is Himeno's farewell, and her decision. A farewell to her best friend's little sister and a resolution to properly watch over Mayu and to support her. Saying thank you to the lady at the reception desk, Himeno heads for the elevator once more. Someday grateful that she's alone in the elevator, Himeno gazes up at the nightscape and murmurs, tomorrow life will go on as it always has. However, for Himeno, she'll begin to move forward, just a bit each day. Alright, that's two. That's one. One more ending to go. One more ending to go. I will cut and I'll bring you back as we get toward that one. Alright, I think this is the one that's going to let us continue to the other ending. Go with Kenji-san. I'll go with you, Kenji-san, to save Himeno. The reason I was able to make it this far was because the thought of saving her kept me going. That's what I want to believe in. I understand. As things stand right now, I thought that's what you'd say. I can understand you have a strong resolve to save Himeno-chan. Yes, I made my decision and I don't want to face any further doubts. I'd like us to go, but please, wait for just a moment. As I say this to Kenji-san, I squat down next to the girl on the ground. I take out the small keychain from my skirt pocket, the keychain with the starfish droplet. Marty and I, Himeno and I, and surely this girl and her father, this is the shape these bonds take on. I think rather than me holding on to it, this girl should have it back. I close the girl's hand around the keychain and clasp both my hands together. If I can, I'll definitely. Wishing with all my might, I stand up. Sorry for keeping you waiting. You okay with this? The one who said we have no time was you, Kenji-san. I guess I did. Where's Himeno-chan? At the stage. Inside a shed on the stage. From here, it'll be faster to go through the interior. We can pray that nothing happens to us on the way, but just in case, you should prepare yourself. Kenji-san, do you know the law governing the fixation of points here? What's that? It's a law that Girl and I discovered. If we use it right, we should be able to safely reach Himeno and escape the red Manten Aquarium. As we walk, I tell Hiyoshi-san about the doors and the phenomena. It seems he hasn't learned the law needed to rebel against a Manten Aquarium. He listens intently to my story with a serious expression. We leave the Fish of the World booth behind. The moment of upheaval behind us, I can definitely see that our fate lies directly ahead. Alright, this should be interesting. It's gonna be a long one too. We got quite a ways to go before the end. Although it might be old stuff, who knows. Himeno. Hey, Mayu-chan. I cry out Himeno's name just as we reach the stage. Since the rule of fixed coordinates exists, does this mean we're safe? For now? I run quickly into the shed. Himeno was there, unchained, changed from the last time I saw her. Mayu? When she gets choked up, Himeno coughs up parasites. The number of parasites wriggling on the wet floor is even greater than what I saw a few hours ago. You don't need to say anything. I'm here to save you, Himeno. Himeno's deterioration has gotten worse. Her eyes are hollow. You could probably say her recognizing me is a miracle. If it had been an hour later, well, would what have happened been... It's just scary thinking about it. Thank you. Himeno hangs her head, her breathing ragged. Let's go. Everything's gonna be alright. If I touch Himeno, the parasites will probably try to attack me as well. Even so, we're going to escape. I can't run away from the parasites. Though it's not the best solution, I have to choose what's more important. As I try to lend Himeno my shoulder, Kenji-san intervenes. I told you, didn't I? If you don't let me carry Himeno-chan, you won't be able to react if something does happen. Kenji-san removes Himeno from the chair and lifts her onto his back. His sense of stability makes me believe that, as he's so easily able to carry her, he could run with her as much easier than I could. Isn't she a bit heavy? Himeno-chan, you probably need to go on a diet. She's gonna get mad at you, jeez. My heart lightens up a bit as we joke back and forth. I feel a tightness in my chest as I worry over Himeno's condition. But you seem pretty reliable. Tell me that again later, after we've escaped. Kenji-san smiles at me, and we leave the shed. I follow behind him. First of all, there's no need to worry. Let's stay calm and get out of here. Following what he says, I run after him. Somehow we were able to make it back here again. Kenji-san. Having come to just in front of the ticket gate at the entrance, Kenji-san stands stock still. Staring far past the entrance gate, he says nothing for quite some time. Sorry, let's go. Okay. As we step into the entrance, we're enveloped by a great light. I think that this light connects the two worlds. It really is the outside. Yep. The place we've entered is the genuine article, the real Manten Aquarium. The amount of people has increased, and we can hear the sounds of hustle and bustle. With Himeno on his back, Kenji-san is attracting attention, so he moves for the rest area immediately. I'm gonna go buy some drinks. Setting Himeno down on the sofa, Hiyoshi-san walks off toward the vending machines. Himeno? Himeno's lying down, fast asleep. Looking at her face from the side, I notice something. The parasites are gone. They really were a phenomenon limited to that place. Looking at Himeno's healthy skin color, I'm convinced even more than before. She's been saved. As I think that something wells up inside of me. Like I told you earlier, you can't let your guard down yet. Having returned, Kenji-san hands me a canned drink. It's hot cocoa. Kenji-san is holding a bottled sports drink for himself. The hot cocoa permeates my body. It's sweet enough to smother the parts of my heart that aren't yet whole. This hot drink is perfect for a building where the air conditioner is going full blast against the hot early summer weather. In contrast to me, Kenji-san, covered in sweat, downs his drink in one gulp. Although I guess we should take a breather for now. Giving the now empty plastic bottle a good spin, Kenji-san settles himself on the sofa. There's a question I've been meaning to ask. Can I? What is it? My age? Well, that wasn't it, although I am a little curious. How old are you, by the way? I'm 22. How old are you, Mayu-chan? Himeno and I are both 15. We're in our third year of junior high. 7 years difference, eh? Well, what do you want to ask me? About getting in and out of the red Manten Aquarium. Finishing up our idle chatter, I get down to business. I felt like it was not an entrance we passed through so much as we went astray in order to reach the red Manten Aquarium. Coming back, we passed through an exit. What's the difference? Do you know, Kenji-san? At first I wasn't sure either. In the beginning I also felt like I'd gotten lost and wandered in. In the beginning. Then Kenji-san, today you passed through the entrance to the red Manten to get to the red Manten Aquarium. In other words, it's the general concept. I think the way we think about it is the problem. Can you give me more details? If I don't have more, I get the feeling that I won't know how to get back on the next day of the full moon. No need to worry. Like we talked about before, well, what you need is a connection. If you aren't rejected by the red Manten Aquarium, the way will open. The problem is the entrance. Thinking of it like an entrance and exit is just an idea we constructed. So the door that connects Manten Aquarium and red Manten It's really in our minds. What do you mean by that? If I think of that vending machine as an entrance, then will it become an entrance? Is that what you mean? I point at the vending machine Hiyoshi-san bought cocoa from. I thought no matter what happened, we wouldn't get into Red Manten Aquarium. It's just too much for me to comprehend. If you're able to believe from the bottom of your heart that that is the entrance, then yes. Anyway, the border between worlds isn't by nature that distant. It isn't like a wall separating a house from the outside. From the moment we can become aware of it, an entrance is created. It's fine for us to think of it as a door or a ticket gate, even a window or a hole. And if it's not something like that, not be able to see it as an entrance. We would think it's strange to look at a wall and call it an entrance. Only a pure child could think of that as an entrance, with all their heart. In other words, Kenji-san, what you want to say is that because I thought this is an entrance, then any other way in aside from the aquarium entrance disappeared. Kenji-san nods and adds, yeah. If you don't acknowledge it, it won't exist, but as soon as you do, it does. Maybe ghosts are something like that as well. Anyway, Mayu-chan, you should at least believe that on the day of the full moon, you can get back and forth on the Red Manten Aquarium through the entrance. Yeah, I think that fact that we got out was proof enough of that. I take another sip of my cocoa. At the same time, I hear a loud thud at my side. Himeno? Sorry. It's the sound of Himeno losing her balance. In the beginning, I thought she'd fallen into a deep sleep, but I guess I was wrong. Himeno was laughing, but her body, which I helped up reflexively, feels extremely feverish. Himeno, this fever, it's awful. What? Fever? I'm telling you, I'm fine. This man is Hiyoshi-san, right? Why? I'll explain later, okay, Himeno? Right now, we better get you to a hospital. I'll call an ambulance. Hey, what? What's up with the two of you? Why are you so worked up? Yeah, I feel like I got a fever, but I'm fine, okay? Well, she doesn't seem in a bad enough shape to need an ambulance. Mayu-chan. We'll talk in more detail next time we meet. There should be a place nearby you can get a taxi, so take Himeno to the hospital. Hospital? You're already weakening. It makes sense that you have a fever. Don't dawdle, okay? Kenji-san appeals to Himeno in a soft tone. There's no mistaking that Himeno has no idea what's going on, but she nods at his words. Here, for the taxi. Kenji-san, seeing us seemingly in agreement, takes his wallet out of his pocket and pulls out a 5,000 yen note. That's not necessary, really, you shouldn't. You can pay me back in a month if you want. Isn't it more important for you to get Himeno-chan to a hospital right now? Go look after her. Even though Kenji-san is worried, he's not as worried as he was back in the Red Manten Aquarium. That's right, surely the moment her body, weakened from her deteriorating condition, awakened, fatigue overtook her. Her high fever could easily be explained away as some sort of illness. Listen, I want you to promise me this. At the very least, I didn't lie to you. In 1 month on the day of the full moon, you two definitely need to come. Around the same time as today. Midday works fine. I got it, really. Thank you so much for everything. There are many more things I want to say. Kenji-san, who saved not just me, but Himeno as well. He gave us all this information and backed it up with his actions. I don't really get what's going on, but what's with this atmosphere? Ugh. Look, you need to understand that your body is weaker than you think it is. You can get more details while you're in the taxi. Right. Kenji-san narrows his eyes and chastises Himeno. Watching Himeno actually get talked into something by someone else is somewhat refreshing. Well, later. We definitely won't fail. Right. Later. Kenji-san heads off somewhere before Himeno and I leave. One month later. There's a taxi stand on the basement level of Manten East Building, so we grab a ride from there. Due to her high fever, Himeno staggers about, but unlike in the Red Manten Aquarium, it's not bad enough that she can't walk on her own. With one hand holding the railing and the other holding mine, she's able to gradually make her way on her own legs. I'm sure that when we get to the hospital and she gets an IV drip in her or something, with a little rest, she'll get better. Thinking back on it, this is the first time I've ridden in a taxi on my own. Sometimes my parents use one, but I usually just follow their lead and ride quietly. Raising my hand, getting in, telling the driver my destination, paying when we reach our destination, saying thank you. As we head for the taxi stand, I review the procedures in my head over and over again and tighten my facial muscles so they don't look down on me or try to take us on unnecessary details just because I'm a junior high student. If Himeno were in my shoes, she'd be fine, but since it's me, I have to give it my all. It's not like someone would hear me from inside the car, but I modestly raise a hand and call out. Without a word, the door opens and the driver calls out to us. That girl there, is she not feeling well? Alright, to head to the hospital? The closest hospital in the area is Manten General. Should we go there? Yes. As the driver prattled on, talking very fast, we sat down in the taxi's back seat. Himeno sat further in, and I took the seat closest to the door as we got through. Just as I'd rehearsed in my head, we started off with that incident, thanks to the kind driver. Despite that start boding well, we end up in heavy traffic. The Sunday night homebound rush hour. Wow, crazy. But I wasn't impatient. Hoping it might get better as we sat in the car, Himeno, through her breath, was ragged. Though her breath was ragged, was able to talk to me in the taxi. If it's this crowded, wouldn't it be better for me not to go? No, it wouldn't. You might become faint like you were back in the rest area. Mayu, aren't you worrying too much? Well, it really was bad, you know. Ah, that's right. Give me the details. I don't remember much beyond the fact that I was being done in by bugs. I do remember you showing up and telling me it was going to be alright though, Mayu. Within this car, that makes walking seem faster. I tell Himeno what happened after I got lost in the red Manten Aquarium. Most likely because we aren't talking to him. The driver turns the radio volume up. But that way suits us better anyway, so I decided to start from the beginning. Finding the fish corpses, the tank rupturing in the jellyfish booth, being saved by Kenji-san, hearing Marty's voice, reuniting with Himeno, meeting that girl, the contents of the journal that the staff member left behind, and the secrets of Red Manten Aquarium that Kenji told me. I tell her all of it. Having given voice to all these things, I'm able to put them in order for myself as well. We reach the point of the choice I had to make in the Fish of the World booth. When I tell him my decision, Himeno's face changes. Driver, could you possibly stop the car here? Himeno clearly says this to the driver right in the middle of the congestion. Hey, Himeno. As you were talking, I thought, that couldn't be. About Marty-chan? Yeah. I think it'd be best to check when we got back in a month. It's hard to say, but it's probably because this is a conversation about dimensions that transcend time. Himeno, if you talk so much, you'll get worse. Himeno ignores me and continues, but what about that girl? She's living in a time unchanged from us. Then Mayu, that choice, you shouldn't make it. I'm happy you saved me. I probably would have died, but is it really okay to abandon someone in trouble right in front of you? But it was for you, Himeno. I know that. I can never thank you enough. Out of nowhere, it's like you became my hero. It's not that I want to argue with you. I don't want us to split up like we did back there, but I can't just go on without saying something. Mayu, you'll definitely regret it. Himeno's expression in and of itself is a serious one. In her eyes, there's no colour change, nor hint of weakening. I sit there, unable to respond to Himeno. Himeno smiles a bit and then continues, Mayu, if you're tired, then I'll go save that girl. Who that girl is has nothing to do with it. This time, I have to show you my good side. I think, no way. Her voice is so strong that it makes me wonder just how much she could have recovered after that little rest. Himeno. Timidly, I touch Himeno's forehead. It's so hot, it makes me almost pull my hand back in reaction. It makes it easy to see just how much she's overdoing it. Himeno's desire is real. However, her will alone won't bring her desires into reality. Like going back and saving that girl, for instance. I'm sure she's wobbly from standing up alone. If Himeno's resolution is to come to fruition, then there's only one way to do it. Even though it involves going against my earlier decision, Driver, please stop there. I say this before all my thoughts are even in order. During a break in traffic, I spot the entrance to a subway station. If I take that route, I can get back to Manten Station with no transfers. Mayu? Don't worry, I can definitely rescue her and make it back on my own. That's not it. If you understand me, Himeno, then I know all about you. You're overdoing it. I'm fine, so trust me. The taxi breaks away from the traffic and stops on the side of the road. I leave Himeno the 5,000 yen I borrowed from Kenji-san and ask the driver, please take this girl to the hospital. I get out through the automatic door. Himeno pulls on the hem of my skirt and calls after me. No, why are you going alone, Mayu? Well, if you're really that well, you'd jump out of the taxi right away, but you can't even manage that much. I'll go with you. Trust me, wait for me. I'll carry your concern with me, Himeno. Mayu, but... I turn back to Himeno and put all my all into forging a smile. I don't want to go back to such a scary place. That's how I really feel. But Himeno said I would surely regret it. She's right. Somewhere deep down in my heart, I know it too. Kenji-san is no longer there. I can't rely on him. I am truly fighting this battle alone. Even so, if it's for Himeno, I can't fail. Ice cream. We haven't eaten it yet, have we? Let's eat some together. Right. The door closes with a hollow slam and the car returns to the flow of traffic. I gotta go. Without looking back, I run down to the subway platform. Getting off at the station, I begin walking down the street in the night. It's the same street I walked down mere hours ago, but it seems completely different at night. I couldn't have imagined that this would happen. The full moon floating in the sky, heading for Manten East building, feels like I'm walking towards the moon itself. A mysterious light envelops the world. Surely that other world is equally illuminated by the light of the moon, which is why the red Manten Aquarium exists. My gait seems especially courageous. I believe that only hours ago I fought, overcame, and changed myself. Manten East building at night has taken on a new feeling. Thanks to its illumination, the contours of the building are more pronounced. Its sheer size is also more striking. Thinking deeply about the other world being born within this building, I feel that the light seeping out from the signs and windows is eerie. It's home. I wouldn't have made such a joke this morning. I smile and giggle to myself. I've gone crazy. Probably. But that's okay. Gotta be a bit crazy to go back in there. The faint scent of salt water. I've returned once again to the deep sea on the surface. Kenji-san said the path connecting worlds only opens on the day of the full moon. In other words, there's a time limit. I sneak a glance at the clock by the counter. It's about 7 PM, so there are only about 5 hours left, around the same amount of time from when I went in and to when I came out. At this rate, I should have plenty of time. Completing the process for re-entry, I stand in front of the ticket gate. This is the entrance. If this is physically an entrance, then conceptually, it's an entrance too. Closing my eyes, I walk through it. I can feel a strong light from beyond my eyelids. When the light stops, I open my eyes. I feel relieved to see that there are no customers. I think to myself how strange it is that something like that comforts me. I was able to get back in so easily. If this were a movie or a novel, the power of the moon would get stronger when it's full or something to that effect. Gotta keep moving. I take small steps one at a time in order not to get careless. Huh? I become aware of a strange phenomena. I don't know if it's right to call it that though. Anyway, I spot a familiar shadow some distance away. Kenji-san? Without thinking, I mumble his name, but he doesn't seem to hear. He might help me out, is what I think for a brief moment. What is this? He's strange. There's an intense look in his eyes as he frantically looks around. It's like he's trying to find something. He originally said he would return 1 month from now. For him to come back intentionally like this, the only things I can think of are that he forgot something, or that, like me, he came back to save the girl. However, he was the one who said that we should leave the girl alone in the first place. It's hard to believe he would come back here on his own. Since he's come here so many times, it's hard to believe he would forget something, or to think that he would come back to retrieve it if he did. I wonder why. My instincts are telling me this is dangerous. Kenji-san, the one who suddenly changed as if he were possessed and attacked me. His eyes are the same as they were back then. No, at that time that was because of the red Manten Aquarium. I can't doubt him. I can't embrace these doubts about Kenji-san who saved me. That was something he couldn't help. It came from a will that was not his own, like a natural phenomenon. Just like a typhoon. Which is exactly why I couldn't ask him about the sudden change. The doubts tangled up in my chest make my legs feel heavy. At this point, I didn't expect my own doubts to be like shackles. No, that's not it. Kenji-san is my ally, so to speak. I need to cast off my doubts and open up my heart to Kenji-san. Just a little bit more, just a little. I decide to trust my instincts. When we split up at the taxi stand, the name tag he should have taken off was around his neck. He told us that it worked like a discount coupon. He probably forgot to take it off after he re-entered. Kenji-san enters the souvenir shop. I can't imagine what he's gone in there for. I watch over the souvenir shop from the shadows of the Tokyo Bay booth, so I won't be discovered. My heartbeat gradually quickens. The wait feels long. Even though it's been no more than 5 minutes, thanks to the strange feeling of unease, it feels like an hour or two. If only there'd been no change since my return. If only he hadn't had those eyes. I should call out to him, tell him what Himeno said, and have him help me if possible. There he is. I pay attention to Kenji-san, who has come out of the souvenir shop mumbling to himself. That child, where in the world is she hiding? Despite the fact that he's far away, his words shock me so much, it's as if they're hammered into my chest. That child? The red Manten Aquarium, and a child. Marty. I can't think of anyone else. The memory of Saginu Mareiko, when she appeared by Himeno, back at the stage, also saying she was looking for a child, sticks out in my mind. Why would the criminal who murdered the director be looking for Marty, and why is Kenji-san also looking for her? The Red Manten Aquarium. The murder of Manten Aquarium's director. The mysterious girl who was the director's daughter. All of these scattered pieces. Could they be part of the same puzzle? I give a loud gulp. These frightening surprises don't end there. I continue to follow Kenji-san with my eyes. He heads for the staff passageway behind the panel we pressed earlier. At the moment he opens the door and is about to disappear. Saginuma Reiko? There's the slender shadow of a woman there. As soon as I see her, I can't grasp why she'd be together with Kenji-san, the man who shoved her and tried to kill her before. I briefly avert my eyes from the scene before me, but quickly return to looking through the crack in the door. They're putting their lips together. It's what society refers to as a kiss. The two of them. Kissing lacks any romance, being merely sinister. I get the feeling I just saw something I shouldn't have. I lose sight of them as I'm wondering what to do and decide my next move. First, I should go over to him and find out what he's waiting on before. Once I've sorted out what's going on, I should still have time to find the girl. Trying not to make any sound, I head for the staff passageway in front of the souvenir shop. As I'm walking along, my fingertips feel as if they've touched something. It's right in front of the door to the souvenir shop. This is the keychain. Standing still, I pick up the small item. It's one of the prizes from the gacha gacha machine, with a small starfish attached to the droplet. Flipping it over, there's a photo printed on a sticker, stuck to the backside. A little girl and her father. This belonged to that girl. Could she be in here? My Kenji-san reacted as if she wasn't there, which probably means that Marty isn't here. Anyway, the fact that the keychain, which I returned to her at the Fish of the World booth, is here, in front of the souvenir stand, means that at least she got this far. I take a deep breath. I have to go in and sing. I have to go inside and confirm for myself. The fear of the poison frogs dropping down again floats through my mind. One way or the other, if the girl is inside, then according to the law of fixed coordinates, we should be able to get out safely. Even if we get caught up in some phenomena, I won't be careless. Whether going or coming, no matter what does or doesn't happen, I'm risking my life. She's probably inside. I'm concerned about Kenji-san and all, but I should start by investigating nearby. Embracing my worries, I enter the souvenir shop. I don't know whether I should wrap this episode up and end it in the next one, or I should just keep going. I feel like we've got quite a way to go before we get to an end, to be honest. So I think I'll probably wrap this one up here. I'm not exactly sure how long this is going to be either, because there was a lot of skipping around to get to the endings. Hopefully it's not too short. Hopefully it's about right. I don't know. But we'll come back and we'll finish it up in the next one. Till then, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next episode.